I told you, not biased at all.
All right.
We're streaming.
Can you put this marker up there for me? Thank you.
I know, so I was like, I cannot drop this.
How does it look? Is anything in the way?
It looks good. Oh,
Yeah? We look good?
yeah.
Okay, good.
Do you want to like cycle through it? Yeah. And we'll alternate with each person's turn? Okay.
Come on, Alec. You should have had that prepared.
I don't think you can see the whole.
Oh yeah, you have an angle.
Who are you streaming this to? Your Facebook feed?
It's on Kean TV's YouTube at the moment.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Can you see it all? Are we
I
good?
think so, yeah, I think we're all
Good, because I can't see anything. But you.
You ready, bud? Yeah. All right. So we chose to do our social media inventory on United Airlines and their accounts. So we decided to start off with their Facebook analysis, and that was my domain. So let's move on real quick. So,
No pun intended.
yeah, right. So we chose to look at their main competition. So where does United fit amidst some of its three largest competitors? So United currently sits at 1.3 million likes on their page for Facebook, whereas American Airlines has 2.6, with Delta with a 3.2. However, Southwest has a whopping 6.1 million.
So these are the actual followers or people who are following it versus number of likes on their page, correct?
This is the number of likes on the page.
Not all of their posts that were liked. The people that actually follow them, you like the business.
Yes, yes. Sorry, sure.
No, that's fine.
So now we decided to, for Facebook at least, compare United to Southwest. Now, obviously, it's not always feasible to do a comparison to the person that's doing it the absolute best because you might not have the time, money, or resources. But given how big of a company United is, if you're going to shoot for the moon, you might as well go after the person that's doing it the best. So that's why we decided to do Southwest. So I wanted to look at their content style and posting schedule over the last 2 months just to try to get a lay of the land as to what United's doing versus Southwest. So United, they tend to have a more sporadic kind of posting schedule. I think based on the average that I saw, it was like one post roughly every 3 days. They tend to focus on posts that highlight a lot more on emotional content, stuff that's like tugging on the heartstrings and everything. And on average, this does seem to be their highest rated content. You'll see an example of that later in the presentation here. They'll also post like humorous pictures with captions and stuff like that as well. They have a good cross promotion of their services and different promotions that they have going on. So you'll see like they'll promote something on Instagram, but they'll also share something similar related to that promotion on Facebook. Same thing with their website too. So they do have kind of this nice overlap. Their posts tend to be a little bit more on the longer side, multifaceted. So like you'll click it and there's maybe like 5, 6 pictures, or mini videos within it. And they overall have a very professional tone. It's very, on the up and up. So you compare that to Southwest, their posting schedule, they're posting one post every day over the last 2 months. That is. Their posts content seems to vary, but the two biggest ones are humorous photo captions and like these really cool, almost surrealist photos, which you'll see an example of later, and they tend to do very well. There's a lot of instances of engagement with their community on Southwest's page, so they'll routinely post stuff that's like thought-provoking questions, or they'll engage with people in the comments section, stuff like that. And while they do have longer posts in terms of like captions and stuff similar to United, their videos and photos tend to be more self-explanatory, so you can kind of just get them and see what it's about just at face value, which I find to be kind of nice if you're scrolling on your phone. Everything's right there. So this is an example of United's most liked post over the last 2 months. Now, it's hard to see the caption here because of the resolution on here, but it's buckle up for this heartwarming story, and then it goes into the drop down. But really what this was this was a first-time flyer with flight anxiety, and the first officer stopped what he was doing to like sit with her and help her get through it. And this has about 8,000 likes and positive reactions to it. Now you compare this to Southwest's most liked photo over the last 2 months, and this is cool. So it's like if this made you do a double take. So the one jet's going that way, but the shadow is going the other way. And this is currently sitting at almost 10,000 likes. So you can see that they're each specializing the content that they feel works best for them. So tone, I really want to talk about. So United, as I had said, they are professional, but I feel as though this kind of leads more towards the corporate heavy-handedness of it, because almost every single post that you see, it's got like the corporate background or the colors of the company, or it's branded in some way, so it's really like in your face, like, hey, this is who we are. It's also somewhat presumptuous and tone deaf, and I'm going to get into a really good example of that in a second. Be pretty explanatory there. They also don't really have a conversational atmosphere. Of the 2 months that I looked, there was only one post that was like directly engaging with the public, and we're going to see that in a second. And really, overall, from what I had seen when I was going through it, it feels like you're on a corporate Facebook page. It doesn't really have that personification, like there's a person behind the screen that you're talking to, just a company. And the other thing that I thought was interesting was when you search United, like their main website, it does not come up first on Google. There's another page that comes up. I was actually on it. I was like, this doesn't look right. And then I went to the next website, and that was United.
But did you just say United, isn't it? Is the company's official name United or United Airlines?
United Airlines. So if you type in United Airlines,
Oh.
the first one that you get is not United Airlines. It's like a third-party website, at least. And again, it differs depending on what time of day you search or what search engine you use. But I looked at Google, and it wasn't United when I first saw it. And furthermore, when you scroll down, their social media is nowhere to be found except at the very, very, very bottom of the homepage, and it's grayed out like it's part of the background. You don't even know that it's a link to link you to the social media, which I was kind of shocked about. So you compare that to Southwest. They do have a professional tone, but it's overall very playful and kind of lighthearted. It's not really in your face, heavy-handed, like, hey, look at this stuff that we're trying to sell you. They don't try to push sales promotions. In fact, they kind of, from what I gathered, it's looking for like the right organic moment to say, okay, now let's put in the sales proposal as, in regards to like leading with it. Again, conversational, they're interacting and engaging with their audience on most of their posts. And the website is first when you type it in Google. And their social media is towards the bottom, but it's bigger and it's in color. You can clearly see this. Okay, so this was.
Look at how excited he's getting. I love this.
This was crazy. So of the last 2 months, this was like the only engaging post that United made to interact with its audience. Now, it's a still image, but when you look at it, it's a GIF of like a spinning wheel, and the idea is to say, like do a screenshot to see what United route you're going to fly in 2022. So the post says, so where are you going in 2022? Any way you spin it, our new routes or something to get excited about. Take a screenshot to find out which new. Now, there were two things that I didn't really like about this post. One was the overall corporate feel that it has, and it's got the United banner and all the colors, but I feel as though it's presumptuous and in a way tone deaf, and you're going to see why as we go into these comments. We're just coming off the heels of the pandemic, and a lot of people are still hurting financially, and the whole post is like, let's go to Madrid or Hawaii or all of these incredibly expensive locations. And not only are they saying which super fancy trip are you taking, but you're taking it with United, right? Because it's saying what United route are you taking.
Well, they're United. They wouldn't say take Southwest.
Well, you're going to see an example of how Southwest did this, but much better. Because they did. They have almost an identical post, but how it comes off and the reaction to it is night and day. So if you look at the comments here, I will be flying to STT on United. They canceled our flight and told us to find our own accommodations overnight. Their gate agents were completely unprepared to handle the problem. How about answering your phones before adding new flights? Delaying flights 1 hour at a time is so ridiculous. Just be honest so we can go home and rebook the morning flight. Traveling pregnant with a toddler after midnight is not okay. And this goes on. As a matter of fact, if you go to the next, I think it's the next, yeah. So many reasons to boycott United Airlines, the slithering, slimy corporate snake in the sky. I trust the snake. Don't. Actually, Fernando, if you go back real quick, just the last slide, if you look, this post only has 431 reactions, and it's predominantly that angry, like they're mad. I don't know what the name of that little emoji
Angry
is.
mad face.
So, Fernando, if you want to cycle one more, please. Thank you. Now, this is Southwest's post that's similar. So, if you were going on a spontaneous trip to Hawaii tomorrow, tag who you'd be bringing with you. So, it's still a post that's talking about going to a different location, but there's a couple of key differences. Number one, the focal point of the photo here is Hawaii. rainbow, the island, the beautiful vista. You can tell it's a Southwest photo because they have the Southwest tail in there, but nothing is like in your face saying this is United. The other thing that I liked about it was that how it was worded. It's almost worded like we were friends and we were just hanging out saying, if you could go anywhere tomorrow, where would it be? It's not assuming that you're going to take Southwest, although it's implied because you're on their Facebook page, but it's not making any assumptions. Overall, this one has a much larger positive reaction. It's currently sitting at 1.7 thousand likes, and there's not a negative react in it, because I checked the summary. And then, so this was like the reaction. So I'm taking my amazing daughter who worked super hard and graduating college with a bachelor's degree by age 20. Due to COVID, there was never a ceremony, all that stuff. My husband for our 40th anniversary. And if you hit the next page, Southwest actually engages with some of these comments. So it's like my husband and kids so they can see how beautiful it is. That sounds like it would be a blast, Kathy. We hope to get the chance to welcome you and your family to live with us soon. So again, not presumptuous, just we hope that we get the chance if you want. And again, they same over here, my Southwest flight crew, so woohoo. It looks like we need to start packing soon then. We hope we get the chance to share the skies with you. So it's very, I don't know, it feels more genuine and not as heavy-handed as United. And overall, the reactions were night and day in terms of positivity. I talked enough, so I'm going to let Brandy come in and with
Hi guys, I'm actually going to slide over here because I have some speaking notes that I didn't want to crowd my slides with. So I'm going to be talking about their Instagram analysis. This is what United's Instagram looks like. So very vibrant, mostly pictures of their aircraft, pretty skies, some pictures of their personnel, some pictures of like what first class looks like, but overall it's mostly like skies. Their alliances, like when they merged with Virgin, and their personnel. They have 852,000 followers. And these are their main competitors. So JetBlue is actually doing okay, but they have less than United. They have 479,000 followers. Southwest has 784,000 followers. And then American and Delta, which I found pretty crazy, have the same exact amount of followers. Alright, so I did some digging and I found out that JetBlue and American Airlines actually follow each other. JetBlue follows United, but United doesn't follow them back. American Airlines and United do not follow each other, and Delta doesn't follow United, American Airlines, or Southwest. So they're like too good for everyone. You can go to the next one, please. All right, so I chose to compare United to American. I don't know if you want to put it back to the first slide. All right, just because like Alex said, I mean, I could easily compare them to like Southwest, which had like similar amount of followers, but American's obviously doing it better on Instagram, so I chose to compare with them. United definitely posts more photos than videos. In 1 week, American Airlines posted 3 videos and 1 photo. United posted 4 photos within the same week. The content is kind of similar. Although American Airlines does have more followers than United, United does generate more likes, even with American using more hashtags. So here they use hashtag American Air, hashtag American Airlines, and this was a 10-year challenge, so they hashtag 10-year challenge. The same post by United, they just hashtag time best invention and generated 30,000 likes, and American only got 27, pretty close, but United still got more, and they have way more followers. United Airlines has 248,000 less followers than American. And comments on their posts seem to be around the same amount for the majority of the posts. These are just some fun facts. United has an average of 4,500 daily flights to more than 300 cities across 74 countries. American offers an average 6,700 flights daily to 350 destinations in 50 countries. And although not a lot of engagement is happening, United Airlines does have a second Instagram account. It's actually their Japan account. Doesn't have a lot of activity going on. They only have a total of 16 posts. They've only had the account since November 2021 and 740 followers. But In comparison to American Airlines doesn't have any additional Instagram accounts. Thank you. I went ahead and I searched United Airlines and American Airlines tags on Instagram, and I found this pretty interesting. So both hashtag United Airlines sucks and American Airlines sucks, they both have 5.6 thousand posts. And when I went to look at it, most of it was like the hashtag hijacking. Like most of it was just regular posts by regular people, like happy people, not complaining about them at all. They were just using the hashtags because I guess they were just popular and trending and generating likes. But in the next slide, we'll see what these hashtags actually refer to. These are some scandals on Instagram. So these two, when these actually happened, I actually learned about them through Instagram, like it wasn't through the news. The one on the right, I decided to put the New York Post one because it was very recent. But starting with this one, I don't know if you guys ever remember when a puppy died, United Airlines flight. They were going from Houston to LaGuardia, and the flight attendant told them they had to put the puppy in the overhead cabin. The puppy passed away. This one, you can click it, please. I don't know if you guys remember, there was a doctor aboard a flight, and he got dragged out because the flight was overbooked.
This one?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Literally being dragged out. Not unconscious.
Wait, what?
Is that the day we found out that when you buy an airline ticket, it doesn't guarantee you a seat? It's a suggestion, whoever gets there on time.
They knocked that man right out.
Yeah, they knocked him out and like dragged him out of his. When they pulled the video, you could see he's like bleeding out of his face.
Yeah.
They busted out his lip and everything too. It's ridiculous stuff.
So United is actually not very responsive on Instagram. Like there was, as you can imagine, a bunch of comments about this. This is just one of the screen grabs. A lot of people were actually like not defending United, but they were just saying, well, like this one, I changed my flight to DC over to Southwest, disgusting. But this one person was like, oh, it had nothing to do with race. 3 other people were chosen to leave the flight due to overpacking it. And then just because, memes have to come out of everything, this meme did like generate a lot of likes. It said it's just a dog as a passenger saying why they dragged that man out of his seat like that. This is not funny, but this is. And then this was very recent. This was February 9th, 2022 this year. There was a woman who was allegedly raped on a flight, on a United flight from Newark to London. They had apparently been like exchanging drinks in a lounge before the flight, but this is also United scandal. All right, so American Airlines. This one I actually didn't know about until I did this project, and it's actually pretty crazy. You can click the video, So mom was traveling with her 2-year-old who was having an asthma attack, and because she couldn't keep the mask on her 2-year-old, she was forced out of the flight. She was kicked out of the flight. And they show it. They show it getting kicked out. And then at the top it just says, "This looks like a fun party. This is how a toddler has to fly to go see her grandma." And at the bottom it's like a picture of the Emmys. You don't have to wear a mask to attend the Emmys, but you have to wear a mask to be on an airplane while having an asthma attack. Obviously, she was escorted out of the. Yeah, they actually got rebooked on another flight on the same night, but it's still pretty horrible. American Airlines did not respond anywhere on Instagram that I could find. The only thing they said was, at no time was it made known to our crew members that a member of the party was experiencing an asthma attack or trouble breathing. Individuals were not addressed for failure to comply with face covering requirements at any point while administering treatment. American Airlines spokesman. And then these are the comments that were generated because of this. This is so cruel. I'm so sorry this is happening in our world today. And then I found, this is obviously not humorous at all, but this one comment, remember this is American Airlines. These people have lost their freaking mind. This is insane. Someday when your mind clears up again, you'll see that insanity that you carried out. And in the meantime, I will never fly United Airlines. So they're even getting bad press through like a post that has nothing to do with them. But I guess they have so many like bad things that have been going on lately with United that someone mistook this accident and thought that it was United.
Something had to go on the airplane. Yeah.
It's like, I'm sorry, I fly United. I've never had a bad experience. This is something just recent that recently happened. An American flight attendant hit someone with a coffee pot because they were trying to open the emergency exit door mid-flight. Yeah. Alright, and then Fernando's gonna talk about TikTok.
And then next, we're gonna talk about TikTok, TikTok. So United Airlines and TikTok, they don't have a consistent posting schedule. So it'll post either daily or one post every week. Their last video that they posted was like a couple weeks ago, February 16th, and then they're the second most followed account on TikTok in regards to like the major airlines. And the types of videos that they post are either informative, like how to put your luggage in the overhead bin, or lighthearted, like just using like trending TikTok sounds. So as you can see here, these are the main competitors. On this side, which is Delta, they're the most followed TikTok account, that's sitting at 272,000 followers. And then over here in the middle is American Airlines, where they're at just under 10K, but they don't have any videos or any likes. They don't follow anybody back. And this is Southwest, in which like they don't even have like a verified account. It's just like other people impersonating them, and which is I found really interesting because you would think they're like a major airline, they would have something or like post something on their TikTok. So yeah, this is just like reiterating. Delta Airlines, they have 6.1 million likes across all videos. American Airlines, they don't have videos, but 10K followers for some reason. And Southwest, they don't even have anything like at all. So since like Delta has like the most followers, I decided to compare United and Delta together. And these are two similar posts that were posted like back to back. Like this is posted on I think the 3rd of February, and this is posted on the 4th. This is United's video, and I think you just play the first one, please. It's literally just the same like video, the same exact video. It's just like how it's like using a trend. They bomb their heads, working like with your best friend. And this is Delta. It's the exact same video, except Delta had 4.1 million likes and 22 million views, whereas United's video, they only had like 30,000 likes and like under 400,000 views, and it just shows like Delta's like influence on TikTok, and they're like the most dominant.
And what's the word? Begins with an A. Come on, really long. Al.
Algorithm.
So continuing on, both of the airlines, they both of them don't have a consistent like posting schedule, so both of them will either post daily or like once a week. But on one hand, United tends to be more informative. Like I said, like just showing like videos like of how to put on your luggage on airplanes, or they'll do put up like behind the scenes like of the day-to-day like lives. And then Delta, they tend to post like videos about like travel destinations and like where you're gonna go, or they'll just use like trending TikTok sounds. And United and Delta, they have like a similar amount of views. It's all like hundreds of thousands views or tens of thousands. It's just like all similar. So some recent controversy surrounding United on TikTok. This is like a video of this one guy who went on a United Airlines flight, and he brought with him a almost like I think a $5,000 e-skateboard that he alleges that the airline stole from him. And if you can just play the video.
I promised to make United Airlines go viral for stealing my skate stuff and offering $100 to make me shut up.
Respond with him, so privately. They sent him an email. They only gave him like 134.
Make this go viral. Companies hate bad media.
E-skateboard. And like this, like the comments on their.
I love that voice.
Yeah. And this is like the comments underneath their like the February 16th video on their profile. It's like people telling them to give him like his skateboard back or compensate him. Like over here it says Delta would have paid by now, and then there's a couple others that say pay him back. No longer flying United after finding out they only cover 2% of lost items. And this is like I said, this is under the most recent video. And then this is what the creator said underneath their videos. They banned me from posting, saying United Airlines stole my luggage. I now deleted posts. I didn't see it. I couldn't find it. And then over here, there's one comment on this video. Never gonna fly United again. This is the first time they've done stuff like this. It's time to start flying Southwest. And United has yet to publicly acknowledge the situation. And then moving on to a Twitter analysis, United has the least amount of followers on the platform compared to the other ones, sitting at 1.1 million followers. American and Delta both have 1.6 million followers, and Southwest is the dominant one on the platform, sitting at 2.1 million followers. So yeah, their posting schedule. United has posted so far 1.2 million tweets, and then from the 11th of February to the 18th, they tweeted approximately like 8 times, which is more active than the other platforms, but it's still lower than the recommended average. The company averages 1 to 3 posts every like 2 to 3 days, which is close to the recommended numbers in regards to frequency of posts per day, but not posting schedule.
Alright, so these are just some of the most recent tweets from United that have generated like a lot of like retweets and comments from them. Unlike Facebook and Instagram, they are very responsive on Twitter. Like just on this later, it was just about their luggage like being damaged. This one as well, it was like 3 minutes ago, and then they replied like 50 seconds after that post, so it was pretty quick. And then this one, someone posted a picture of their dog asking like how they can bring their dog on board on their next flight. And they were also like very friendly, like not like so professional as like Facebook. They were like, hello there, we really appreciate the photo. At this time, we have suspended our pet safe transportation for obvious reasons because they had that incident going on. But they are very responsive here. And this is just another example of like how more casual they are on Twitter. So like the day after Valentine's Day, they posted the future called. It said you're going to Europe this summer. Need to change once your flight is booked. We have no change fee, so you can adjust your trip at any time. Just like a very casual inviting post. They do get some of the general comments that I feel like any other airline would get, just like suggestion like other locations or like about like the mask regarding COVID-19. But then you have some comments that's like, oh, is that before or after waiting hours for a gate at Newark? And obviously they didn't respond to that. Maybe, but if your significant other has a miscarriage just before your trip, no at United won't care and their customer service will hang up on you. So many users are expressing their frustrations with them.
Something else that was kind of interesting too is that they're tending to recycle posts. So on the left, this is from Facebook, so not mortal, just a soup waffle. And as you can see, that was posted January 28th. And then that was Facebook, and then on Twitter, also posted January 28th within like minutes apart. It's the exact same photo with the exact same caption, which for a large company like this that does have the money to
That links their accounts.
yeah, it does read a little lazy. So based on all of that, we decided to just kind of do some recommendations on what they could do to try to fix their social media by way of a slot. So strengths, they do have a really strong financial base. As per my last looking into it, I think they only posted in 2019 their holdings or whatever, but it's $52.6 billion is what the company is worth. So they definitely have a good financial base. They have a large following and great brand recognition. They also have a large traditional media base with commercials, radio, print, and stuff. On Instagram, the company is using the right types of a number of hashtags, and also posting a lot of content that's right for their audience base. So as a result, that's getting them more likes despite having less followers. They have over 100,000 followers on TikTok with a good grasp of the content. They also have a large following on Twitter with an active posting schedule. And this one was interesting. We're going to talk about this a little later, but they gave up their Olympic partnership, and the reason for it was to reinvest in the company and specifically their employees to try to improve salary and benefits and everything for them. Now, weaknesses, by far the biggest one is their irregular posting schedule. So based on the averages from what I looked up, you're supposed to be posting at least once a day for Facebook. You're supposed to be posting a link 4 times on Twitter the first day, 3 times on the second day, and so on and so forth. They're nowhere near close to hitting those metrics, although they are the most active on Twitter, which seems to be what they're favoring the most. The lack of engagement, especially on Facebook and Twitter, that's a big one. The lack of engagement overall, responding to controversy. The problematic comment sections, again, the website not showing up first, and the link to the social media being hidden right out all at the bottom of the site. These unaddressed controversies are causing a lot of problems. For example, the one with American Airlines, where they're being lumped in with a scandal that's happening with another airline. You would think that they would see that they were tagged in that, and someone would get in there and say, "This isn't us. We didn't do that." But they're very just hands off. And I put here, they gave up the Olympic partnership to reinvest in the company and its employees. And I'm going to bring that up why I also put that as both a strength and a weakness. And lastly, that reposting across platforms. Opportunity. So again, loss of Olympic partnership. So this can be used to help with regaining positive PR for the company only if they follow through on the promises, because they only just did this for the 2020 Olympics, which really happened in 2021. So this is very, very recent. And if they follow through on it, it probably would be a big win for them in a big way. They definitely possess the financial ability to emulate their major competition in just about every way and has the potential to do it better, especially seeing as they tend to have a larger brand recognition. And like, how funny is that you have like the United car and everything? We're all talking about that. They can employ that traditional media base to follow social media if they're organizing it correctly. Something I thought was interesting was they're intending to use the right amount of hashtags. So also in my research, you don't want to overpost with hashtags. You don't want to underpost with them because that's either going to water down the content and make it too hard to see anyway. They kind of have the sweet spot, which is why they're probably generating more likes despite not having as many views. And something else that I thought that was really important was they're verified on TikTok. And right now, of the major airline companies, there's only 2 that are verified, and that's them and Delta. Everyone else has, like Fernando was saying, they're either not verified or they're like not even remotely close. So it's a really good boost to their credibility as a company overall. Now onto the threats. So again, that irregular posting on almost every platform, I mean, it's bad. It's not letting them get the word out for the things that they want to get out. It's making their content seem watered down and stale, and it's not really engaging the public the way that they want it to. So that needs to change. And that also goes the same for the reposting. Because again, it's a multi-billion-dollar company. The fact that you are literally copy and pasting things across all of your platforms is kind of silly, at least in my eyes. The not engaging with the audience. So again, that still goes to progress that feeling that the company doesn't care, that you're just numbers to them, and they can do whatever they want, and you're still going to come back. And it's backfiring because we would talk about how what does it take for you to not go with a company? It takes a lot. Well, all of this stuff has been building and stacking, and they are seeing that people are no longer flying with United and are jumping ship to Southwest or their bigger competitors like Delta. And again, the search engine optimization and the social media are really running the table because you're not really able to get a good read on who's coming to your website from social media or vice versa. You're not getting your brand out. As a matter of fact, if it's going to a third-party company where people are searching for you, well, they're probably, if they're not using critical thinking and saying this doesn't look like United, they might actually stay there. So again, that's a big no-no. And I also want to put this too is that their failure at going back to like losing customer base. A lot of airlines have been struggling since the pandemic, so now more than ever, it's important to value your consumer, especially when you're providing a service like this. And then lastly, Delta ended up buying the contract for the Olympics for $400 million. So this is why I said that them choosing to give that up to reinvest into their company and employees could either be a really good thing if they do it right or a really bad thing because now Delta, who, while yes, Southwest might have them beat on Facebook or might edge them out on like Instagram or something. Overall, Delta seems to be their biggest threat to them. So that's something to keep in mind. And these are just
All right, nice work. Are you ready? Not ready?
What?
Ready?
Um,
No, not ready?
no, we're ready. That's
No.
big ass follow. Yeah, I think it's really fun.
Oh, I don't know.
It's really funny. It's like this little white. Come along, yeah, and then I'll be recording. I think I know.
We're totally not biased.
That should be hired. But even every dollar you spend is mine. But some restaurants give you two. Like, oh, I like eating out. I just mean to eat out a lot. Like,
Well, I'm gonna
for my original hunger. That's the only one I use. That way.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just say early. Like if it's $10 each. I'd be saying like they just ask you. They ask you like
I you know what, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You gotta see that video. I can't remember what else she did. It's like all I'm thinking is like. It literally sounds just like that. Try to say like a friend. Yes. No, she gets yeah.
Okay. So we had Wendy's. Wendy's had a few different platforms. And yeah, I mean, we were surprised to find out that they had a Snapchat and a LinkedIn and different accounts like that. We were definitely surprised to find that out. But yeah. So before we get into their social media platforms, I felt like it was a nice touch to mention that Dave Thomas actually was the creator of Wendy's, and I always wondered what the deal was with the girl on like all of the Wendy's. I wondered where she came from, if it was just a drawn picture, but no, it actually is his daughter, Melinda Wendy Thomas. Wendy is her middle name, and that's what he named it after. In addition to that, they had a photographer come over to their house to take the picture of her, and he had said to her, Wendy, pull your hair up and put it in pigtails. So they did. They ended up taking the picture, and her sister joked and said, oh, I bet it's going to be Wendy's old-fashioned hamburgers. And sure enough, it ended up being Wendy's. And they based it off this picture. You can see the pigtails, the little necklace, the blue stripes, and fully based off this picture.
Question before you go further. Do you talk about the subliminal messaging in the logo? You want to do me a favor real quick? Walk over to Wendy, the cartoon Wendy. Yeah. Somebody, I need a volunteer. Wendy's wants you to know that eating their burgers is just like at Mom's. Look at her collar. You see the word. Through time, you will never be able to unsee it. Through time, that Mom has been changed. And you'll see old Wendy's logos and new ones. But Wendy's wants you to know that eating there is just like eating at Mom's. And that's why her neck says Mom.
Is that like 40 and marketing?
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you
I
so
can't
much for the
unsee that.
contribution.
Not a problem.
That is very interesting.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. No, I'm kidding. You're doing great. You're doing great. Legitimately great.
Okay, so they have a lot of people following them on Twitter. 3.8 million followers. They have lots of, like they gain a lot of following for creative posts and dry humor. They really did an excellent job promoting themselves and just keeping up with being with what their audience really wants. So like,
Okay. So as far as their least popular tweet, I can read it off to you. It says, it's showtime. Get a free 4-piece spicy nuggets with free delivery at orders of $15 or more on Grubhub. So we found that at least for Twitter, a lot of their least popular tweets were often times when they were advertising and collaborating with different companies. So you have Grubhub here, who they chose to collaborate with. One would argue that maybe DoorDash or Uber Eats is more popular than Grubhub. I got nothing against Grubhub, but I know that DoorDash and Uber Eats are used more, at least with the younger generation. And so one would argue maybe partnering them wasn't the best move, but you know, who's to say? But for instance, this post only got 279 likes, 18 retweets, and 69 comments, which is absolutely nothing for someone who has that many followers. So clearly there's a problem there. I thought it was also interesting that they just mentioned Pandora in this. They say Pandora Live featuring Ed Sheeran, where if you click on the link, it takes you to like Ed Sheeran and a live stream that was him. Again, kind of strange. They use Pandora. I know Pandora is still popular, very popular back in the day. But one might argue maybe Spotify, Apple Music, you know, would make it a little bit more relevant. And maybe that would make the audience connect a little bit more to it. So then, before we get into their most popular posts, I know we mentioned it briefly in this class before, but they do have National Roast Day. So every year, Wendy's takes to Twitter on January 12th to just roast different companies, brands. They don't really limit it to just fast food chains. They'll roast anybody. All you have to say is Wendy's roasting. This was invented in 2018, and they've done it every year since, and it's pretty comical. So as far as their most popular tweets, they often tend to be all of the roasting tweets in particular. They roasted Velveeta cheese, and it says, you're closer to being the first restaurant on Mars than you are to being cheese. That's their most liked tweet. And I can read the other ones too. They're just comical, and I think they make people laugh, and I think that's the route that they tend to go with their Twitter, and it does work for them. So another one says, this was replying to Oreos, and it says, when adding milk makes you taste better, you know you're doing it wrong. Another one says, to T-Mobile, a 10-piece for 1 bar seems like a bad trade. To Malibu Rum, artificially flavored for teens to make their post-prom feel tropical. And then another one to Windows says, when God opens the window, another one crashes. So it's most often the most popular tweets end up being from Roast Day, which one could see as a positive or a negative, because if your most popular tweets are only on one day of the year, it's that problem, you know. So as for missed opportunities with Twitter, they're just not posting enough. On average, they're posting once a week. And again, when you're only really posting a ton of content on one day out of the year, it doesn't really look good for you when it's not having people engage. You know, you're also probably maybe only following them for that one day a year and then being like, I don't really need to follow them throughout the year, so I'm going to click on follow. So, and then collaborations with famous influencers and brands. While they do collaborate with different brands and different things, I feel like would be better suited for them to choose someone better. Just choose someone more famous, someone more that younger generation could relate to. Even if they did like a Spotify or Apple Music, just test the waters a little bit and see what kind of works for them, and maybe they'd be better off and have more of an engagement rate.
So they have, so this is like for their YouTube stuff. So they have like 132,000 subscribers, and they joined in 2005. And that's really surprising that they wouldn't have more for as long as they've been on YouTube. So I just put that like, you know, just generally they still do a good job taking like a lighthearted approach to things. And I just put things like, okay, so in their like their more recent things, these 2 advertisements that I'm gonna show you like that were more I just felt like things such as like the colors, the lighting, the food, being in the focal point, being enlarged or centralized on the screen in the foreground was just like was really easy. Like it just makes it more attractive for their audience. So I hope this works. Yeah.
Forged with a sweet, sweet heat. Wendy's new hot honey chicken biscuit and sandwich. A marvel so marvelous.
That was delicious.
Forged at a Wendy's.
Really?
Oh, dear.
Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new hot honey chicken sandwich with biscuit at breakfast.
And this one.
Sign me up.
This one is
I want
actually,
Wendy's.
the second one is I think is actually related to like I think it was around like Halloween time, so this is kind of why I didn't be able to more to that theme, but I think they did a pretty okay job.
Forged with a sweet, sweet heat.
Sorry. How do I get out of here? Wait, dude, this should be going next slide. Oh my god, it's really messed up. So what they could have done is, you know, they don't really post a lot of content. Like they really have like wide gaps between content, so they can post more regularly, which could lead to a higher number of subscribers. And I thought like after looking at some of their content, their earlier posts were meaningful, yet it really diverted away from the advertising about food. And also, you know, which of course like most like the audience wanted. Oh yeah, and here's what I really thought was interesting. So in their earlier videos, like they didn't really put like their brand name in the beginning, but they only had it a little bit at the end, and it was like really small in the corner. So I don't know if any of you are in persuasion or have taken it before, but I thought it was relative to this. So I thought I would add that. And the videos, you know, the food ones had the most views, of course, because that's what everyone uses for. And since they're a fast food chain, like it's more easier to recognize them with food. Like if you're putting like a story of like a person and like a moral behind it, like we don't associate that with fast food. So it was hard for people to really be like, oh, this is really it. Like,
So the next one we did was TikTok. They have 1.2 million followers on there. So Wendy's TikTok account seems to be ran by like a younger person. Kind of how their Twitter is. And one with because the words they use like fly or like bet. So that's what made me think of it. When they said bet, I was like, this is definitely something that's not bet. So Wendy's doesn't post really any original posts at all. It's usually them reposting their customers' posts. Like this one I thought was interesting. She actually has a tattoo for Wendy's. So they shared that post. It's like 4 for 4 on her hand.
I better get a free 4 for 4 for life at that point.
They post like maybe 1 or 2 posts about their spicy chicken nuggets, but that was really it. Like I said, their customers post how much they enjoy Wendy's, so then Wendy's reposts that. I think it's a smart way of advertising because they're using like real life people instead of actors or actresses to try to be like, oh, I love Wendy's so much. So these are genuine reactions from people. And then you guys can click the next slide. So their least popular post is somebody throwing like the spicy chicken nuggets off of a balcony with like a little parachute made from like a wrapper, which is like right here. So they did this because they got like a message from their boss saying that they want to see the spicy nuggets fly, but then like fly out of the restaurant. But they took it literally, and so they threw it off. That was actually a post from Wendy's, like they actually posted it. But their most popular post is actually from a customer who they commented on a post saying, if Wendy's follows me, I'll buy a Frosty. It says no cap. So Wendy's followed them and commented back saying like video where it didn't happen. So the person went to took a video of them going to Wendy's, buying a Frosty, and I'm pretty sure, I'm not gonna lie, I think this is their most liked video just because there's dogs in the video. So their post originally they have 1,406 likes, and the post of the kid buying a Frosty and feeding it to his dog has 1.1 million likes. And then you guys can go to the next slide. So I think that the missed opportunities on their TikTok is they don't post often. Sometimes it's from 1 month to 2 months apart that they post. That's not even their original self-posting, they're just reposting other people's. Their last post was February 10th. And they don't use their platform to share like new products or promotions they have going on. They rarely post their own things, they just reshare other things. I think it would be better if it was like a combination of both. That's it for TikTok.
Okay, so as far as Instagram, currently on Instagram they have 1 million followers. They're following 229 people, and they have 165 posts. So as far as their least liked posts, it's funny because throughout their Instagram, if there is not food on the post, it does not have a lot of likes. So they have 1 million followers, but this is their least liked post that has 3,595 likes, which again is absolutely nothing. That is not a lot of likes at all. It says, can't decide what to eat, we can help. It says, I know what I'm about, all right then, and it's like this like weird post where you keep swiping until the end, and then it's like, have Wendy's, like it's a little, there's no food in it at all. And one would argue that seeing food on the screen might say, oh, you know what, like, wow, these chicken nuggets look great, I'm hungry right now, right? But they don't really do that a lot on their Instagram. They also don't really have any sort of aesthetic. You know, they're not constantly posting food. I believe out of their 165 posts, it was less than 15 posts that had food in it. Well, you're a fast food chain. Don't you think that you should be putting food all over your page? In addition to that, they only really post like once a week, if that. There were some times where it went 2 weeks without them posting. So if you don't post, how do you expect people to want to follow you and engage with you? These are just some comments on that, and it's funny because a lot of these kinds of posts all had negative comments. None of them were like, go Wendy's. None of that. It was all negative comments. So one said, well, I ain't going to Wendy's. Another one said, I had a great burger from Burger King. I know another one said, I just had the absolute worst ever experience with Wendy's. Hashtag, I'm ready to tell my story. So as far as their most liked post, it is this right here. It was from Twitter that they screenshotted and posted on their Instagram. And it says, they added Mondays and they said, McDonald's rocks. And it says, did you forget to write taste like in the middle? And so on this one, because it was funny and comical and people appreciated it, it had 73,272 likes. And the comments were period. Another one said, Wendy's tweets are the best. Another one said, yes, Wendy's drag her. Wendy's, y'all have been out of pocket, but this is too much. And then another one says, true. So it's kind of interesting to see that their most like Instagram post is a screenshot of a Twitter post. So it kind of shows you that, you know, maybe you're not really doing something that great if it's a Twitter post that you're reposting. I'm all for making sure like all social media platforms have similar things to keep your audience in check and informed. But when you're a fast food chain, not to say you don't have to do that, but it's not necessary to do that. So the fact that they're posting screenshots from Twitter, like those really are their most liked posts, are the screenshots from Twitter. So missed opportunities, like I said, not posting enough, on average once a week. Some weeks they went 2 weeks without posting. Not sticking to their strengths. I mean, if they posted humorous content, like because they're so known for roasting and being funny, like imagine they take a picture of McDonald's 4-piece nugget and the picture next to it is Wendy's and saying like, oh, one's gross and one's good. Like just funny stuff like that might make people laugh and just hit it just because they think it's funny. And the more likes you get, you know, you're going to be better off. And like I said before, their posts are most often reposting content from other social media platforms, that being Twitter. They're constantly reposting things from
So I did Facebook. Wendy's has over 8 million followers on Facebook. They have over 100,000 reviews, but they only have a 2.4 star rating. They have over 15,000 that have checked into Wendy's locations. Their posts generally get over about 1,000 impressions, and every post gets shared. There's not one post on their account that has not been shared at least once. Wendy's really does its thing in the comment section. They are always commenting on people's posts or comments. And Wendy's relies on humor and really bad grammar to grab people's attention. And that's just a little example. If people will comment on purpose, like with capital letters and bad grammar and misspelled words, just to get Wendy's to comment back to them, which they do often. So their most liked posts, there was 2 of them that were
Oh, that looks great too.
pretty similar. They had a big campaign when they had the pretzel bun, and it got like a huge. The campaign was excellent. Like, I guess everybody likes the pretzel bun. But this post in particular that just says Summer 11 got over 100,000 impressions. So it was either liked or shared, and it had 1.4 thousand comments, 1.4 thousand shares. They don't really use hashtags like ever. They never use hashtags actually, and it's actually like that on all their social media platforms. But they still get the likes. Their other post that was high was the Facebook that like to speak to the manager. That would happen when like Facebook went down for that
time period. They posted that, and that got over 80,000 impressions, 3.6 thousand comments, and 13,000 shares. Their least liked post, it mostly like with Instagram and Twitter, it's mostly if they're using an ad. So if they're trying to promote something, like their chicken nuggets or their breakfast stuff, that's usually when they get the least likes. And so this one had 201, and that one had 595. So if they're not using the humor, they get less attention. And it's the posts that have the most negative comments on it, the people's bad experiences. But Wendy's does, and I didn't say it before, but Wendy's is really good about commenting back on the bad posts too, on the negative comments. Asking people to DM them because that's not the type of experience they want them to have at those locations. So I think there are missed opportunities. They really do overall have like a really high engagement on all their posts. They could post more often, like the other social media platforms. They only post one time a week. They could also utilize like more polls in their stories. They barely ever post their stories, and I think that would be a good way to engage more people. And they also should increase comments by asking questions in their post. So similar to the Wendy's post where they asked for profile pictures to be doctored in Photoshop. So they had a post, they said that they got a new Photoshop program and they asked people to post their profile picture and they would change it for them. This was huge and the comments were crazy. And they would Photoshop people's profile. So doing some stuff similar to this, I think they could get more engagement on there.
So I checked out their Snapchat, and I thought it was interesting because not really a lot of companies attempt to do a lot on Snapchat. And Wendy's has been doing this since I believe 2017. This is their biggest thing. I don't know if you've ever seen the barcodes they put on their cups and stuff. If you scan this barcode, it's for the Dave Thomas Foundation. It's like an adoption organization. They use this code. If you scan the code, it unlocks like a special filter that you can post on Snapchat, and it allows you to also donate $5 to the foundation. So Wendy's has been doing that for a while, and then they have like a kind of a special filter that you can put on your story. They've also used Snapchat for like pure advertisement. So the thing with Barstool Fifth Year, it was like if you go to stories and you see those like things that you can subscribe to, they're basically like little skit TV shows. So they partnered with Barstool Fifth Year for one of them. It was like a college game day kind of like 13 episode skit, and when they were doing it, they had Wendy's like ads in between the little episodes, and they like included Wendy's in their stuff. They had over 20 million Snapchat users and generated over 100,000 visitors to their restaurants. That's what they put on their website. It's like the projections that they got into it. So the one thing that I thought they could do better on is, they don't have an actual account that you can like friend to like view stories from and them and whatnot. Most companies don't. Like it's not really a big thing with like McDonald's. They didn't have one in Burger King. But what they do have that they consistently do is the Dave Thomas Foundation, which I think is a great thing. They don't advertise too much on it though. Like after the Barstool thing, they still will do ads throughout stories sometimes, just on other things like all companies do. But for the most part, they're not that active. The only consistent things they do is the Dave Thomas Foundation, and when you're physically at a Wendy's, if you take a picture, you can swipe, and it's like a filter. It shows like I'm at Wendy's. But I thought, if they could make an actual account, they could post stories on it and use some of their like humor that they use on their Twitter and Facebook. And I thought it would especially help them out, considering some of the other big fast food chains don't have one. kind of be like they would have the edge over it. Yeah. They also have a LinkedIn. They have over 120,000 followers on LinkedIn. And they have a lot of employees, and they have like all the big CEOs for different locations are also connected to it. They're pretty active. Sometimes they post multiple times a week, but sometimes they don't post at all. It's not very consistent. They have ads, information on new ideas and changes throughout the company, and announcements on initiatives about how they're trying to diversify their company more. This is what the page looks like from that app. They have a lot of jobs listed too. They have over 20,000 jobs currently posted on their LinkedIn over all the country and internationally. I think their LinkedIn is pretty strong. However, they do have less followers than McDonald's, Burger King, and Taco Bell. They're kind of McDonald's is like way above the rest of them, but I thought that overall they're a pretty good organized company with a clear page. And they have a lot of information and a lot of job offers and whatnot. And the followers, like, I don't know how much you can put on blame just their LinkedIn account. Like, how there's so many more McDonald's out there than there are like Wendy's restaurants. So I think they have a pretty good account overall.
See the mom at the bottom?
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Okay, so that is our presentation on Wednesday.
Thank you very much. Alex, you want to go next? You want to go next?
Oh.
I love you.
She does that with literally everything she pulls out. Have you seen that one? No. Okay. It's funny. Are we on?
That's where my mind
We go now or?
Yeah. Well, you said you gotta go, so let's make sure you're taken care of.
Yep.
I didn't say any McDonald's old market. That's a 40.
College dropped out.
They didn't, but they hired a guy, they had the arches already. They hired a guy do a 40 analysis.
Right.
Did you hear that?
I didn't, but I'm interested in hearing about that.
So the guy said that they can't get rid of the arches because they look like, and that reminds me of their mom is gonna get posted.
Very possibly.
Provide them for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know how I believe it, how much I believe it, but I don't know how much I believe it.
It's very possible though. I mean, the coloring, the yellow and red makes people hungry.
I mean, some people might not know.
There's so many things.
Like even if it works for one person.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I'll send you the notes. You just did like human rise. Quantitative research, that's what it's all.
Yeah.
Very much.
Sources here, because I got like 6 or whatever.
Because I was doing
Where that?
8 years. Yeah. But I talked like, if I have like 10 or 15, and I pick one additional source from there, is that okay? I publish pages. Yeah, okay. So that should take some.
How many sources do we have?
It's like 20, 25, no more than 25, 15, 25, I'm right at the big one. But again, I said there's like, I'm gonna try to get like 10 or 15 sources, like actual hard sources that I look at myself, and then just pick one from each of them to get me to the number that I use. Like realistically, have like 12 sources.
I guess I would have
You're already at it. You've already.
All right, you guys ready? We still have what, 3 more to do? Let's get it going.
3 more? You
Do we have 5 groups?
4. I think one more. Just
4
5
groups?
people though.
Oh,
Yeah, just some of the groups.
got it. I'm so hungry right now.
Do you want a timeout? I forgot I got. Does anybody want?
No,
I was
no,
like,
no.
wait, what is that?
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
So this is our presentation about Amazon Prime Video and all of their social media accounts. So I'll start off with TikTok. Prime Video actually has 8 different TikTok accounts. Their main account has 10 million followers, 3,300 videos, and 5 of those accounts are just translated. They're the same thing, just translated to different languages like French and Spanish. The other 2 accounts are Prime Student and Prime UK. Again, Prime UK isn't really translated, it's English, but they do post different content, like their UK shows, they focus more on that aspect of it. And Prime Student is just like more user-created posts and advertising, and then they repost it and show like what students are watching, because they have the Prime Student deals and stuff like that, so they try and get more users that way. They primarily use the main TikTok account to promote their shows, commercials, what's going on. They try to keep what's viral at the time. If everyone's watching this show, they'll post more on that show. That's usually where their most liked ones come from. It's whatever's popular at the time. So one of the big TikToks is the new Lord of the Rings show with 44 million views. It's by far the most viewed one out of all of them. Other posts range from 100,000 views to a few million, along with their likes following in the same range. Another big hit on TikTok is their stand-up comedy like videos that they do. They're a big hit because TikTok, the way it works is they're short, catchy videos that try and entertain you for as long as possible. That's what stand-up is, just trying to entertain people and make them laugh. One of their lowest clips, I just picked a more recent one, the show called Harlem. It was posted for a week, only has 400 likes and barely 10,000 views at the time. And this is a picture of their TikTok. You can see the one on the top left, that's the 44 million Lord of the Rings one. And just, you can see the other views on the more recent posts. They're not really that popular. Whereas they have 10.4 million followers, and they're third on the list for all the social media, like Netflix, streaming service, and Hulu. They're both above Prime Video. And since the main purpose is to promote, you can see based on the follower count to the view count, it's very off. You know, I don't know why that many people follow Prime Video except to get ads, but you can't even see when they're, you know, clearly they're not watching them. So that's, I guess, where they missed out on, is they don't have a loyal fan base in a way, just because, you know, one video is popular, everyone's got to see it, oh, got to drop a like, whereas the rest, they just skip over it. They can clearly see that their marketing and shows is working and also trying to draw new people in, but they're missing out on attracting people to their less popular shows.
So their Twitter, they have 2.2 million followers. They're following 776 pages. Most of them are the other 20 Prime accounts, and then the shows that they have, like Rings of Power, they have their own Twitter account. That's an example of other accounts they're following. And they also, a lot of the, you go next one. A lot of the stuff they post, make multiple posts every day. Most of the posts are about movies and shows they're releasing, and then they're on their platform. They also make posts about movies throughout history, people there that are part of the movies, and like this is like their most liked and interacted with tweet, which is also Rings of Power, Lord of the Rings show, and they also tend to post a lot of stuff regarding like what's like big in pop culture, like in February is Black History Month, and they're posting a lot of facts about like Black history movies, and and their interactions, they retweet and interact with other pages every day. Most of the accounts they retweet and interact with are people or projects on Prime Video. Like this is the weekend, he has something coming out, or that came out on, just came out on Amazon Prime. They tend not to reply to comments on their posts, but will leave comments on other pages' posts. But I don't know if I just couldn't find their comments. They might comment on their own post, but I couldn't find it. That's it.
All right, Facebook, their little tagline, like, you know, how you can put like a bio, it says we're more than just your shopping cart. And that was on Facebook, and I want to say there might be a screenshot coming up, but it was on another spot that I saw that I was looking, maybe Twitter. I might have put it, maybe I put that. Nope. Okay. But this is the only 16.6 million followers. This was like the Amazon like Facebook page. There are also like Facebook Prime, or Amazon Prime, but this was Amazon Prime Video. So like there were different ones. There was a Prime student one that had over 1 million followers as well, but I didn't really feel like that was relevant since we were doing Prime Video, which you saw. And that's what it looked like when it said, that's how I knew that the page was ran by actual Amazon, because it says Amazon Services LLC is responsible for this page. And it shows like where it's going to be like logged in at, or the locations are from, which are obviously pretty big places that probably have Facebook near and dear. You may click on, friend. The followers, you can't see who they follow on Facebook, but you can see who follows them, and along with their likes. So it says like 16 million people like that, and then 16.6 million follow that. I have 9 friends. I feel like that's I looked at my little friend group of people that follow it. It's very diverse. So I feel like there's different things that are being posted to entice people to follow them. And you can see like the about, we're more than just your shopping cart. I just felt like that was kind of cool for them to put on Facebook. Facebook's been around, I feel like, the longest of the majority of these social medias. And I don't know, you think about like who is on Facebook, it's kind of like your mom, your grandparents. Like it's not really like the young, trendy, hip place to be. But I definitely didn't see any, like people would make comments to Amazon Prime Facebook, but they didn't really comment back. Like there is none, which you'll see in the next, you can click to the next slide. The content, very similar to what everybody else has been saying in our group about it. Like movies, TV shows, celebrities, holidays, sports, music. So like when I took these screenshots, Black History Month, they have a new show. I think the Lord of the Rings one is at the very end. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see him. And I feel like they post they'll post a lot in like one day or the next day or whatever, frequently throughout like 4-hour increments, or they don't post for like multiple days. So it's weird. I mean, it's not very consistent, but again, like they're not reaching out to use this as that kind of platform. I don't feel like they're just putting content out. They don't really care what your comments are. I can't speak for them entirely, but it seems like the lack of interaction with people shows you that. But again, I feel like Facebook is sort of like old school, so it's not, I don't know, necessarily meant to be something that you're like constantly doing that on when you have Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, like the things that you can engage and interact with the videos back. I feel like this is not one of those platforms, but yeah, that was what we got for Facebook.
For Instagram, the main account is at Prime Video. They have 2.3 million followers. They have a total of 9 Prime Video accounts. Each one is from another country that promotes their own TV shows and movies. This includes India, Australia, and New Zealand, France, Italy, and United Kingdom. They also have a Prime Video Kids account and a Prime Video Sports. And also they have the Prime Video Video Comedy account. Posts and followers, they tend to post a lot, like every couple hours. They also love to interact with their followers on Instagram. That's what I noticed. They like that post. It says in the caption, it takes an icon to create an icon. Which of these biopic performances was your favorite? And then it only has 45 comments, but most of they like to interact with them, so most of them do comments. Some of them, they have no comments at all. The other one is named that TV show theme, and that was posted on their Instagram stories. They like to do like little quizzes and everything on there too. They also post a lot on their Instagram stories. What I noticed, I started following them last week, and I noticed they post a lot on there. Contact, Prime Video on Instagram features video posts, reels, stories, and images featuring upcoming video content. They promote high quality images, video. They also utilize the IG stories featuring graphics, swipe up links. Lead marketing and mobile marketing is one of the big part of the social media marketing strategy. This is one of their most recent posts. It's the Spider-Man one that they just posted last week. Came viral. It has 363K likes and only 272 comments.
So I have the YouTube. So they joined in 2011. They have over 1 million followers. They have over 1 billion views. 1382 listed videos and 16 featured channels. You press the button. So the content is mainly just like trailers for original programming. Then they do like community advocacy, so like capitalism with a friendly face. They have like this celebrating Black voices. It's all just like kind of making themselves seem socially aware of what's going on. They basically repost TikTok memes, which are just clips of shows anyway. So they're not really adding anything in terms of like the sort of content that they have. The most I think they have is interviews, because that's the only thing you can't really get on the program. I think that if I were to be running their YouTube channel, I would say, let's put like a little bit of money into making exclusive content just for YouTube, because there's just nothing on there that you can't see anywhere else. And like, basically their best case scenario is that you take their YouTube videos and link them to something like Facebook or something, and maybe a discussion can happen there, but it's not happening on their platform. It's not happening in front of their eyes. It's just like just set and forget, just dump information into this thing, and then like just let people go with it, which we'll get back to in a second. If you could just go to the next one. So engagement, they have no pinned posts, which I personally think, like as a person who uses YouTube a lot, I think that is like what makes an account look official to me. Like if I go on like some YouTuber, say like some influencer or something, and they have a pinned post that like kind of describes what's going on, they usually like have something fun that starts a conversation. None of that on there. No pinned viewer comments. So like if somebody had like a funny comment, or they made a good point, or they said something, none of that. There's no responses to commenters, and there's basically no links in descriptions to any products or anything that they're. So it just seems like just a giant failed attempt. And like I said again, there were videos that are linked to message boards and are discussed there, more or less. If you could go to the next one. So we chose this because of the Lord of the Rings thing that's coming out. And if you go to this video and you go to the comment section, it is literally like, so say you had like a normal video of theirs, you might have like 6 comments, like 30 comments. They have over 80,000 comments on this of people spamming the same line from J.R.R. Tolkien in like every language you could imagine. So there's like Russian, German, Spanish, English, and the line is, which is like to show how evil of a company Amazon is. The line is, evil is not capable of creating anything new. It can only distort and destroy what has already been invented or made by the forces of good. So you literally said nerds just like spamming and memeing the shit out of their page. And yeah, and so that's like they could have jumped on that. I mean, it's like kind of too late. They're like pretty much buried in the ground by this point. So as of last night, there were 83,079 comments. Probably like 95 or more percent of that was literally just this line over and over and over again. And then every once in a while, you had some like nerd try to chime in and be like, no, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. But so like I don't know. I personally, through their YouTube channel, I saw them just get kind of buried. And I guess the most they can do with it is just like, if you wanted to link one of the videos to social media or something, it's a good way to, but other, like it's like, as far as a social media thing, it's kind of dead. But yep, that's fine. No, you don't have to play that. Just put it on there.
What else is up there?
And then,
All right.
moving the camera and the kid every night.
Well, yeah, I had
It's
to
hilarious.
equal
I sit over there and not-
opportunity.
I was safe on the ball.
Last but not least, oh yeah, please don't forget to fill that out. That'd be great. Thanks. How's it look? Perfect. Anybody view this or what? Anybody hop on here? Any chat?
I think I saw one thing on there.
Yeah?
Yeah, like the comment, but I think that.
I see one
Yeah. Oh, I don't know who that is. Yeah. CaneTV.com or YouTube.com/CaneTV. It's there. We're hanging out.
Did you comment, Elaine? What?
No, I didn't comment, I just viewed it. Well, Gilly so much.
Aw, thanks.
Nobody wrote that, but we.
Yeah.
No, we want to.
Sounds like my professor. That's a lie.
That's so crazy to me, I've been meaning to go to that.
Oh, yeah.
I wanna see that.
Hmm.
I don't believe it.
Okay. I'm making the whole thing up.
You're right, I did that. It's really chilly.
I'm sweating and freezing and sweating and freezing and yeah.
So, thank you for joining us. Today we have the arrival of Coca-Cola on social media.
I'm just kidding.
That's your favorite.
I like to see myself.
So I started with Twitter. As we all know, Twitter is one of the biggest and most popular social media platforms of our time. It's also the #1 social media for celebrities, politicians, and big name corporations that verify their social status with the Comm checkmark logo next to the account names. Twitter's platform is known for using its thread techniques by allowing people's posts to be retweeted as a part of its own discussion forum. With these social media tactics, Twitter has become one of the strongest marketing platforms for promotions, products, and endorsements by big name companies such as Coca-Cola. And so, Coke on Twitter, not to be confused with like Twitter on Coke. Coca-Cola first joined Twitter in March of 2009 as a means of product promotion worldwide. And if you scroll through Coca-Cola's Twitter, you can find countless posts that are mostly like animated small clips of advertisements based off of the occasion or direct occurrence. Like, it's kind of hard to say, but like obviously here we have for Christmas, like the whole Santa Claus thing. And then this was some vault thing. They were like pulling out something from the Coca-Cola vault. And so consistency, Coca-Cola's postings on Twitter may not be as persistent as fans and followers would expect. The company's Twitter post shows a pattern of like 1 to 3 posts every day or every other day, usually within a few hours of each other. And it's clear that Coca-Cola's history and market image sells the company itself. With that in mind, it seems as though Coke doesn't have to put much effort into their social medias. The Coca-Cola company also runs various Twitter accounts for their brands, all different flavors, regions of advertisement, as well as companies like Fanta, Dasani, and Sprite that they all own. And like this is just a general what their Twitter posts do look like, and these are all like pretty much within like hours apart of each other. And then over here, this again, I'm sorry, this is hard to see, but in the top 100 posts of market, Coca-Cola actually comes in second place on Twitter. I think top one is like Nestle. And their competition, which is a big thing. Coca-Cola's biggest competitor has always been Pepsi on pretty much every platform. After reviewing Pepsi's Twitter accounts as well, the comparisons are easily visible. Not only does Coke have more followers than Pepsi, but Pepsi's account posts range numerous amounts of posts per day, every few minutes to a half hour. As to where Coke, like I said before, is kind of like a little bit more expanded with their postings. And this is a brand watch social index that I found. And as you can see, just in everything, Coca-Cola takes over, like social visibility. They're 5 points higher than them. Net sentiment, a lot more higher than them, and even reach growth and social engagement content.
So YouTube, as you can see, it's a disaster for competition. There's no competition. In fact, I would go as far as to say there is no competition.
As you can see by these nicely graphed lines that have been provided by Social Blade, the top three pieces of competition are just not there. You can see Pepsi kind of pulling out a little bit, but what is that? 2 pixels. It's
I
two,
literally
it's
saw
2
that
pixels.
part of the graph, not an actual line on said graph.
You can see they were attempting it with 6 pixels, but now they're 2 pixels, and that's not because Pepsi's fallen off. It's because Coke is just, even Coke has fallen off a little bit. Even with Coke falling off, Pepsi still can't compete. And then Dr. Pepper, their real line is here. It's not even funny. You go to the next one, please. They are mostly on one account. They do have other accounts, but they're not used. They have Coke India, which I think is their next market. They're not using it. They're just dumping everything on one channel. But they are posting in a lot of languages. They're translating posts, and in some cases they're making specific posts for markets. Spanish is a big one, Latin America. They're pushing hard into Guatemala. But as you can see, there's Greek. Got some Indian here. Interesting to note, this is written with a Latin script, so that's specific. They're marketing towards a specific demographic. People that use Latin script. People like tech people. And then we have anyone know what that is? That's Georgian. And then you can see here we got some Russian, not very popular at the minute. Where are they? Oh yeah, here we got Jack Black, not Russian, Kazakh. So they're all over the place. You can see SK. It's not in Slovakian, but the lettering when you get into the advertisement is Slovakian. And they have these 2 specific ads are part of the same campaign. You can see there's a 15 and a 6-second version. I don't know why. And then if you look at their upload history, there's like 8 of these same ads, just in different aspect ratios, different lengths. I don't understand why. You go to the next one, please. Now, their only real competition is out in foreign markets, specifically Pepsi. These are ads made by Coke for the Indian market. And as you can see, I mentioned before the Latin script. They have nothing in what we would traditionally notice as Hindi. It's all in Latin script for and disposable incomes probably for the first time in their lives. And they want you to buy Coca-Cola.
17 million views.
Yes. That is in foreign languages, that's the only place they have competition. If it's in Spanish, like if you have the same ads, like comparison ads, like Pepsi and Coke make the same ad for like a Latin American cup or something like that. Coke has more views because I don't know why. Latin Americans like it. They're a lot better than Pepsi. As you can see with Pepsi India, which is the only real competition.
Even looking at the name though, it's not appealing. The eyes are tripping me out.
They could have definitely gone with a spacer here. Yeah, they're really battling over this market. But you can see with the subscribers and the uploads, there are more uploads on Pepsi India than there are on Pepsi's main account. So, and then views, it's not even comparable. Now on TikTok, this is confusing. Coke has multiple TikTok accounts in all kinds of foreign languages. I'm talking Vietnamese, I'm talking Indian, I'm talking Russian too, Japanese, they're all dead and have been for years. I think Coke's Thai account's been dead since 2018. And that's a long time to have. Their Thai account has more followers than their English account, and it's been dead for 4 years. So if you want to talk about missed opportunities, what are you doing? And competition on TikTok is where the competition wins. Pepsi's Romania account has more followers than Coca-Cola's main account. There are 6 million Romanians in the world. Unbelievable. And Pepsi's Pepsi, they're dropping the ball here too. I'm not going to compliment Pepsi too hard. They are dropping the ball. They're not posting anything. They must have had some company doing this because Pepsi Romania and then they had Pepsi Japan were posting up until the 31st of December. The contract ran out, and they're not doing nothing with those accounts anymore.
All right, so Coca-Cola currently has 2.7 million followers on Instagram, and they're following 251 accounts. Their bio is real magic is only one sip away. Coke has posted a total of 258 posts on Instagram. 12 of them are reels, which are like the Instagram version of TikTok. They also have a few story filters where you can visit the page and then you can use the filter on your story too. Most of them are Christmas themed, so they'll be like share a Coke with this person. Will be like the random box of your head where it stops on. That's like what you're supposed to post. Like that's what you're gonna share it with. There are 9 highlighted stories on the Coke Insta page, and they all have 6 story filters for your Instagram. So their posting schedule is pretty inconsistent. They actually kind of, to spite me today, actually posted a new Coke flavor that's coming out called Starlight.
I saw reviews of it, and I heard it wasn't great.
Tastes like Skittles.
Well, they
Oh, really?
only pinned the comments that said tastes like. But yeah, as I said, their posting schedule was inconsistent, with the majority of posts having more regular schedule for the summertime. As we're in February, March right now, they're not posting as much. Their last post before today was on Valentine's. But during the summer, they'll post regularly from about May to the end of July. They don't include August or September because their last post in the summer for 2021 was July 28th, and they didn't post again until November 13th. Wow. So a couple months of break.
Well, wait a second. When did? Do you talk about their scandal?
No, I'm just talking about in general.
No, I mean, are you guys talking about the scandal or no? No. So I guess the question would be, how long they were not posting? They went dark on social media when that happened. How long after their scandal happened did they go back live again, and did they ever address it? Do we know?
So there's no post on Instagram.
No. Nothing. We'll talk. But I'm just interested. Yeah, no.
Very ominous. But Coke has a large increase post during the summer, starting around late April, May. As I said, it makes sense that their products are more associated with summer months. I mean, I'm not really clamoring for a Coke right now when it's 20 degrees outside. But it is kind of also with how large their brand is, as Kevin mentioned with Twitter. They don't really feel the need to engage as much, put as much effort in. You can see that in a second. So if you look, we've got Dr. Pepper, their United States-based account, which is not produced by Coke or Pepsi. In Europe, Dr. Pepper is produced by Coke. In Canada and South Korea, it's produced by Pepsi. But in the United States, they produce and send out under their own brand. But so you can see the big difference in posting when comparing the 3 accounts right now. So Coke, as I said, only has 258, 259 now as of today. Pepsi has 654, and Dr. Pepper has 1,037. But looking at the follower accounts, it steadily goes up when we go look at Coke. So they have 1 million more followers exactly than Pepsi, and Dr. Pepper has only 587,000 followers as compared to them. When you look at the different accounts, you can definitely see that Dr. Pepper is more trying to
But
be.
hang on, Dr. Pepper is a Coca-Cola company.
No, that's what I was just talking about. They're not a Coca-Cola company in the United States. They're a Coca-Cola company in Europe, and then they're a Pepsi company in Canada and in South Korea.
But the people who are following this account, are they United States people going, I love Dr. Pepper because they have a tasty drink? Or,
Well, yeah, I kind of blocked out following it.
touche.
But if I removed it, it would just be like people in the United States.
Okay, that are following this being, okay.
Because, I mean, when you compare, because I will make a point about how many different pages Coke has too, for their, like different countries. But looking at, Pepsi has the same, Dr. Pepper only has like one or two compared to like their bigger markets because they're not as big of a brand. The main point I was going to go with is that looking at the difference in posting, Coke kind of feels like they're missing out on an opportunity here because, yeah, they have the most followers, but they also have the least amount of posts. And if they posted more on just holidays and during the summer, they could probably get that 2.7 million up to maybe 5 million, even more to 7 million. Because when you look at engagement, Coke will average around 33,000 to 55,000 views per these little videos. They're regular posts, but they make these videos. So like the Valentine's Day one is just like a little artsy, like arrow going around the Coke logo. But they only average around 7,000 to 9,000 likes. Pepsi will be about 10,000 less views and about 3,000, 4,000 likes. And then Dr. Pepper doesn't really post videos, but they'll average 3,000 or less likes based on like the meme format posts. But as I was saying, with the missed opportunity, if Coke was posting more than, let's say, like once a month or twice a month, then they could probably get a lot more followers because, you know, you're not going to follow Coke for one post a month and then just forget about it. I mean, that's probably why some of them have that many followers, but you probably get more engagement, more followers if you post more regularly because they are such a big brand. So other accounts on Instagram, like I was saying, Coke has a number of other accounts representing various different markets that span across the globe, excluding Antarctica, obviously. Coke social present on every continent. As I was saying, like the summer months, Coke Brazil right now is posting a lot more, about 3 or 4 times a week, sometimes twice a day, because it is warmer down there right now. It's more summer months right now. They also have like fundraisers, but they're also designed to just be like design things. So like Coke Jeans literally has a lot of posts about jeans. Or Coke Shoes has a lot of posts about shoes. It's a bit odd, but it's something different. But they only have about 18,000 followers each, so they're not really that one of these accounts have a very large social media presence. They follow the same posting schedule as I said at the original full page, so a lot more than the summer months. Then it slows down, and then for each country's respective holiday, they'll post something. They also have various accounts left up from past promotions, like Coke Zero, how it's like just Coke Zero Sugar now. There's actually just dead accounts that have been locked behind like a private barrier. They haven't deleted the accounts at all. They're just sitting up there. I think the Coke Zero one has like 186,000 followers.
Okay, so Facebook, Coca-Cola, they have 109 million likes. It's actually one of the most liked product brand pages on Facebook, which is actually really unfortunate because they barely post. They post about once or twice a month on average. The last time they posted was actually on New Year's, like just like a New Year's celebration post. So they post on most major holidays. They post for social justice movements too. I saw mostly videos on their page. So videos on their page included ad campaigns, tributes to professional athletes, and collaborations with celebrities. I saw a video with Jonah Hill and Jimmy Kimmel. And then I also saw that they were associated with a group, a Facebook group that is, I'm pretty sure created by them. It's called Kindness Lives Here. And it's basically
a group that like spreads positivity, like posts like daily pick-me-ups and stuff like that, which kind of makes sense for Coca-Cola because I feel like their core values and like vision is like bringing people together, like share a Coke with like your friends and stuff like that. So like I feel like makes sense for them to make a page like that. And then compared to Pepsi, they have better overall engagement when it comes to likes and comments on their posts, but they don't reply to people's comments. Like I looked through the whole thing, they don't really reply to people's comments at all. And as you could scroll down to their page like really fast. Like I was able to get to 2020 really fast because they don't really post a lot at all on their Facebook. Okay, so this was the kindness starts with the kindness lives here kind of post. It says kindness starts with Coca-Cola. And then this was like the bio for the group. So it says, welcome to Kindness Lives Here, a group dedicated to bringing people together and spreading positivity. Because let's face it, the world could definitely use it. This is a place for feel-good stories, positive vibes, and being kind to your internet neighbor. If it makes you smile, this is the spot to share it. And then they just have some rules that's just like, be kind, no hate. I went on the page for this group, and it's actually like a private page. You have to request to join it. I requested to join it, but I didn't get accepted, so I don't really know if they're accepting people to the group or if it's like was like a one-time like promotional thing that was going on. As you can see, this post was actually from 2019 because that's how much they don't post. And then this one I saw, it says, which Coke with coffee flavor are you trying first? And then they had the different flavors. And I thought it was cool because they're trying to like get opinions from consumers and stuff like that. So you go. And then Pepsi on Facebook, they only have 36 million likes, which is significantly less than Coca-Cola. But they do post more often than Coca-Cola. They post about twice a week on average. Videos on their page includes ad campaigns. I saw mostly celebrity collaborations. I saw one with The Weeknd and Doja Cat. Something interesting that I also saw on their page was that they post cocktail and food recipes that include Pepsi. And also another thing I noticed, since it was recently, Pepsi was a lot more heavily involved with the Super Bowl when it came to promotion and posting compared to Coca-Cola. I did not see one Super Bowl post on Coca-Cola's page.
Hasn't it always been the Pepsi halftime show? Am I wrong with that? Is it? Really? It has been Coke prior to Pepsi?
Yeah, well, I think Coke helped come up with it, but I don't remember exactly when Pepsi took over, but usually Coke comes out with soup.
Yeah, I didn't watch the Super Bowl, but The Weeknd did the halftime show, right? And there was videos of him like with the Super Bowl theme and like the Pepsi. There was videos on that. I should have included one, but I forgot, so I'm sorry. Okay, so these were the recipes that I was talking about. This is a Pepsi barbecue sauce, which is kind of interesting, so I included that one. And then this is a cocktail that includes Pepsi in it. And then, just like Coca-Cola, they also did one of those posts where they tried to get some feedback from consumers. So it says, drop a mango emoji if Pepsi mango is your perfect match. It's here to stay forever. Yeah. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much.
It's interesting. Pepsi's YouTube